It's Bruce Phares here with Windermere Real Estate in Seattle. It is the 10th of March. Let's go ahead and take a look at our numbers. We're going to move through this quickly. We track daily 145th down to Othello and water to water, east to west. We track all new listings and take a look at what they're doing. Let's look at the statistics here very quickly. The newly actives, the pending inspections, the pendings, the pending inspections that go off market in 6 days or less. We call this the big kahuna. Those totals of pending inspections, and then we look at some percentages. So let's go look at the new actives here. In this week, we had a crest of new actives on market on a 7-day and on a daily basis, but it retreated by about 20% to 168. And you can see that's a fair amount. That's a fairly sizable chunk of the total overall coming into the market. Our highest number so far of the year was 402 a couple weeks ago, and we're down at 376. We're just fluctuating up and down. Pending inspections have been holding steadily right around 30 in terms of a weekly basis and about 50 in terms of the total that are on market. Pendings hit a crest this week, 135 pendings in a 7-day time period, 485 in the totals. That's fairly high. Here's the big kahuna, pendings and pending inspections that go off market within 6 days or not. If you can imagine how that is, that really indicates how fast the market is taking place. And sure enough, we have an 18 number for 1 day. We have an 80, which is white hot, and we have 265 for the total. By the way, the yellows mean highest number for the year. That's what that indicates. Yellow is highest, white is white hot, red is hot. So let's move across here. Daily total pendings, 163 for weekly pendings and pending inspections, and 532 for those totals, looking at these two added up. Now let's go over to the percentages. This is where the real information is. The pendings and the pending inspections in relationship to actives on a weekly basis is just below 100%. The pendings and the pending inspections in terms of new actives on the total is right on 141%. This is the big kahuna again, looking at these guys right here. 6-day in relationship. So if we look at these in relationship to all of these in a weekly basis, it's at basically 50% at this point. And the same thing, the 6 days off markets in relationship to new actives weeklies, they're just below 50%. That is a brutal market for buyers, very friendly for sellers, very intense, but very friendly. And that's what we're seeing there. So let's take a look here. NWMLS, they're looking at 113 new actives in this search. They're doing at 183 off market. That puts it 162% new pending to new active relationship. So their numbers are even higher than our numbers over here on that weekly basis. But that's what we're seeing. Let's go ahead and move across here. We're seeing total homes for sale. This is the 145th to Othello, the black line, and we're seeing that drop from 589 down to 186. Ballard, View Ridge, the north end, 131 coming down to 40. Similarly, you can see for the central area at orange and the south end in purple, we're really down at some low numbers, 20, 21, and 40. Let's go on to the next one, median days on market. Again, look at the drop here that's taking place. And I'll just give you the bottom line where it's 7, 7, 7, and 9 days on market on average for all 4 of those different areas. Average percent of list price, of course, is pushing up a little bit as a result of that. Let's go ahead and look at the overall 99.5 heading up to 100%, 100.2. The North Ballard and View Ridge, as expected, usually the hottest area in the market, 100% already, and then they push up to 101.3. That's overall. And central area, orange at 99.6, hitting 99.8, and then 99.5. For the south end, 98.9 pushing up to 99.5. Let's take a look at the median sales price. This is where the interesting numbers are, however. And if we take a look at this, your Ballard and View Ridge, which I call the core of the sun, $750,000 in January, dropping to $731 in February for the average sale price, which could be a strong foundation for the numbers we saw here. Let's do the same thing looking at the central area. We go from 705, that's the orange, down to 655. The black, Seattle overall, black line, 698, call it 700, dropping down to 680. That's how I'll round those numbers. And Othello, the south end, I-90 down to Othello, I think that drop right there is reflective of too few numbers to actually get a good read on that. So we have a market that is very seller friendly. If you like what you see, please go ahead and hit subscribe down here. We would appreciate it. And that's it for this week. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call us.